Hello, my name is Gus, but you can call me BATGUS, and we are back with our Batman the Animated Series commentaries. Today's episode is going to be the Prophecy of Doom. Definitely not one of the most memorable ones, but it's here on the list, so we have to watch it. And it's a funny one, so stick with me. So as usual, I'm gonna play the episode in my countdown of 3. If you have your DVD box set or Blu-ray box set or your streaming service with Batman the Animated Series, we can watch this one together, shall we? So let's go in 3, 2, 1, go! The Warner Bros. Logo is on the screen. So, like I said, this one is not one of the best ones in this series. Very forgettable episode, but since we are following the chronology of the episodes in this animated show, we need to go through this one. But I do believe there are some interesting concepts in this episode. I think it's a much more a comedic one. It follows the style of episodes like I Got Batman in My Basement or something like that. And there is, I think, a very funny story that tells that this episode was animated by a different company from the usual company that used to animate this show. And you can see that it's very clear, that this episode was animated by other company because it's not one of the best ones in terms of animation. So besides being the story not being so good, is also one of those that is not very well animated. But anyway, the episode starts with a cruise in the sea, and we see these people partying inside the cruise, many rich people, and people gambling, casinos, and all this stuff. And during this cruise ship travel, there is going to be an accident or an explosion, actually, in the ship. And apparently this explosion was caused by purpose, right? It's almost like a terrorist attack or something like that. There is a bomb in the ship, and the bomb was not meant to kill the people, but it was meant to make the ship sink. And we're gonna learn later that this whole thing was done by purpose because it was one of the predictions of the villain of this episode, right? And I do think the whole ship sinking, it's a funny scene because we see all these people going to the safe boats to leave the ship while it's sinking. It's almost like a Titanic kind of scenario. And there is a very, very quick shot in this whole scene that is very funny, where we have a fish inside a aquarium, and while the water is entering the ship, it takes the aquarium away, and the fish, you can see the expression of the fish going, "Oh my God!" But he's a fish, so he will be okay. Anyway, the whole ship sinks and the people are able to escape, and then we cut to one millionaire of Gotham, that is a guy, one of those random characters, right? That has a daughter, and he's having a dinner with Bruce Wayne on the top of a building, and he's talking about this new guy in town who is a how do you call it? Nostromus. No, I mean, this is the name of the guy, but I mean, what is I forgot the name of his profession, right? This guy who sees the future. So Nostromus is this guy who claims he can see the future, and this millionaire old man who is with his daughter in the dinner with Bruce is trying to convince Bruce to go to one of the meetings to see Nostromus and see his presentation. And Bruce obviously mocks the old man, saying this is stupid. And his daughter also mocks the idea, and she is very disappointed with her dad for believing in this guru, guys who fool people, especially rich people. And she tells Bruce while they're leaving the restaurant that they have her father and a bunch of millionaires of Gotham are having this brotherhood now that follows Nostromus and follows his mission as a guru that sees the future. So Bruce decides to go to one of Nostromus' presentations, and and obviously it's one of those phony presentations that he will talk about the future and show his supernatural abilities, especially doing some magic tricks in front of the audience. Now that I'm thinking, this is actually a very interesting topic because it's very current in terms of some bizarre things we live in our society today, especially regarding cults, right? And this is a cult. This is basically a cult that Bruce Wayne is being attracted to. And but obviously cults in real life try to be a little more convincing that this guy is very phony and very you can see from far that he's just a lunatic who is fooling the stupid millionaires. And he does a magic trick where he breaks a glass in the hand of Bruce Wayne. And we have this very funny scene later where Batman, back in his Batcave, is talking to Alfred, and Alfred is asking, how did he break the glass in your hand? And at least in the version of my country, Brazil, in Portuguese, he Bruce Wayne speaks in this very low voice saying, vibrational sounds, Alfred, which is a technique to break any glass, right? So it's not magic, it's not real magic, it's basically a trick to fool everybody. And in the Batcomputer, he sees that this guy, the Nostromus, is actually a actor that was arrested already in the past for fooling people and getting money from rich people, stealing money actually, right? So later we have this very great scene where Bruce Wayne is going to enter an elevator of the Wayne Enterprises, and there's going to be this bomb that was placed on the top of the elevator to make it crash. Again, it's not meant to kill Bruce Wayne. Oh, sorry, it's not a bomb. This time is a screwdriver. A screwdriver is tossed in the pulling system of the elevator, in the ropes, right? So it causes the elevator to crash or to stop. And then the guy who works with Nostromus, because he has a henchman, of course, he uses an acid to melt the rope of the elevator and cause it to crash. And like I said, that was not exactly meant to kill Bruce Wayne, but I don't know how he could survive this unless he dressed as Batman in a matter of seconds, which is very bizarre and very lazy here. It's very stupid, the idea, but he dresses as Batman in a matter of seconds and is able to escape the elevator. And he is able to actually chase the henchman that threw the screwdriver in the cable system of the elevator. So both men fight on top of the building which is a very cool scene. The guy gets this metal bar and starts to fight Batman, and he chases the guy. He tosses a batarang on his leg. It's a cool fight scene, and the guy tosses the liquid of the acid that he used to melt the rope on a pipe around that. This pipe releases a gas that clouds Batman's vision, so the criminal is able to escape. And since Bruce Wayne was able to escape the elevator crash, the accident, he is able to use this as an alibi now to plan his counterattack against Nostradamus, and he will use this to say that he now believes in Nostradamus, and now he will enter the Brotherhood. So the billionaire guy of the beginning of the episode calls Nostradamus to say that Bruce finally saw the light. He's now gonna enter our Brotherhood, and we see Bruce pretending that he really believes Nostradamus now. He goes to the Nostradamus house and cries and asks the man to forgive him. A great performance from Bruce Wayne. And again, very interesting. Now that I'm watching this episode, and I said this before, that sometimes I remember these episodes as some of them are quite forgettable, because they really are, but some of the topics in them are very interesting. And I do like the idea that this episode is basically talking about a cult, a religious cult, if you mean, that are something that exists in many places today. And I don't want to get into the whole religious thing, because it's not it's not my place in this channel to talk about this, but this is what the episode is talking about. So it's very funny to see now, remember that even though this is not a great episode, at least it touches in a very sensible topic that still is current today, right? Anyway, now the billionaire guy is driving Bruce Wayne, talking about the plans of Nostradamus, and that Nostradamus tells everybody that there's going to be this great fall one day. He predicted that the world is going to fall, and the billionaires of this world need to rebuild the whole thing. So he's saving these accounts for all the millionaires to put their money into this account, so that he's able to use this money in the future to recover the world, or to save the world from this great fall. So again, it's very, very realistic in terms of what a cult is, right? And how these guys, especially these billionaires that want to, preserve their own, I don't know, they want to believe in these things to be able to preserve their lives forever. So they believe in this supernatural religious cause to be able to live forever, or things like that. And this is why they get fooled by this kind of guys like Nostradamus. And we see Nostradamus talking to this brotherhood of millionaires in his presentation, and he levitates in front of them, and he shows videos of the world going insane, with people stealing the places and destroying the city. And it's all an act, right, to fool everybody even more. Of course, he is levitating with the help of wires that his henchman is controlling in a control room. The daughter of the millionaire, who is very, disappointed. She's probably the most the most the most intelligent person in this episode, besides Batman, of course, because Bruce is just acting, right, to get into the organization and really uh, uh, and get this guy Nostromus. But the daughter is also very intelligent, and she tries to unravel the whole plot by herself. She actually enters the control room where the henchman of Nostromus is working, and he ends up getting her and kidnapping her, right? So later we're gonna have Nostromus calling her dad so that he goes to a secret meeting with him. And it's a very funny scene because the guy is entering this what is the name of these places with a lot of globes and planets? Planetary, right? It's a planetary. So he's Nostromus is talking about, he's celebrating his deeds with the millionaire guys, and he receives the visits of the millionaire who is the father of the girl. And it's a very funny scene because he's a bald guy who wears a wig. Not even this is real in him. He wears a wig, and he puts this wig on very quickly once he sees the millionaire guy arriving. But then he puts it wrong in his head, and his henchman quickly adjusts the wig on his head, and so that he's able to fool the guy again. So he gives a paper for the millionaire. I forget the name of the guy. I think it's Mr. Clark, right? The name of the guy is Mr. Clark. He gives a paper to Mr. Clark for him to sign that it's talking that is a contract for him to give more money to the organization. And this is where Mr. Clark gets suspicious, but then Nostromus shows him that his daughter is trapped in one of the globes of the planetary, and she's wrapped by ropes on the globe, right? So he has to sign. He forces the man to sign and reveals his true face for him, right? So the plot now is unraveled, and that Nostromus starts to levitate by himself because Batman somehow entered the control room and is using it to toss him around. So now there is a chase. The henchmen of Nostromus and Nostromus go after Batman, and they go to the top of the planetary where there is all this hydraulic system that controls the globes inside the building. And they start to chase him. It's a good scene. The ending on this episode I like, actually, to be honest. It's not very well animated, but there is this action scene that will happen using these globes, right? And it's a very interesting. The henchman is now fighting Batman, but this fight will end up taking place around the globes. And I like this scene, actually. It's a good action scene because not only that, the girl is tied on one of the globes. So there are some very good suspense scenes that, one of the globes, for example, a Saturn globe that has this big ring around it might cut her in half if they pass too close to each other. So it's a creative scene, actually. It reminds me that Batman the Animated Series definitely has probably the most, not the most, I have to correct myself, the second most creative climaxes and fights using the locations of the fights or the situations that the fights will take place. Because in my opinion, and I'm sorry for the DC fans, the best animation series that has the best climaxes in the end of the episodes, using the environments, the places, and all these things, is Spider-Man, but not the 90s, 94 TV animated series Spider-Man, but the Spectacular Spider-Man that was probably released in 2007, I think. I'm not sure, but I think something like this. Spectacular Spider-Man definitely has the best climaxes of any animated series. And it's a very dear TV show for me. I think my favorite TV show from Spider-Man. From all his TV shows. Anyway, let's not talk about Spider-Man. Let's talk about the Batman. Now he's on top of a globe, and it's a funny scene. He fights the goon of Nostromo's on top of some of these globes. He detaches one of the globes, the planet Earth globe, from the ceiling, and it falls over Nostromo's. That's how he gets the guy in the end, and the globe, crashes over the man. Then he has to use his rope to swing to the globe that the daughter of the millionaire is, to untie her. And during this, the Saturn globe with the big ring comes towards them, but they are able to drop from the globe that they were and escape in the last second. So it's a good scene, not bad at all. And as usual, like I always say, the controls of the building of the planetary get destroyed somehow, and the whole system breaks, and this is how they survive and escape. And we have a very forgettable end where the billionaire and Bruce and his daughter talk, and that's it. That's the end of the episode. Again, like I said, it has a good idea, it has some good moments, but in the end of the day, it's one of those that nobody will remember. I'm not sure if there is any comic book related to this episode, if the creators got the idea from any real comic around, but here is not one of those that work very much. But anyway, thank you so much if you watched this one with me. If you are liking this content of Batman, the animated series episodes, commentaries, please don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel for more. See you in the next Bat video, and bye-bye.